Thank you, Sanjay. And it's a wonderful to have a weekend where everybody is looking how to give the wings to the kids to have a dreams comes true. And as a mother of two, I also have the similar feeling. So there's a lot of different hat keeps going on as you give it as a mother or a parent, how to make sure the kids get the best what they love it. And it is a very very emotional I can say planning more than anything else. So today I'll be just trying to say what exactly we should do. So there are a lot of different ways we should look at across when your kids are young below 5, when they are 5 to 10, and then they are in teens, because the planning may differs accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to share some of my life stories. Normally, as usual, I do that what I do, and second thing is what I ask my all customers to do it with their kids, and what you can apply and have a wonderful peace of mind to make sure your kids are being able to do it across. So when I remember that all of us must have personally also must have thought we wanted to do become a doctor or engineer or become a pilot is a very very common thing. I have always noticed people wanted to do. So there are too many things, and the best part I can say the children nowadays have is they have many more than what we used to have, just like a commerce and science and arts. Now they have a many more I can say opportunity to become in a digital marketing. You can become an anchor, you can become an RJ, you can whatever you can think of. There are opportunities in everywhere, but to get those and make sure that they achieve those, directly or indirectly we need money to go across that part of it. So today we are just trying to say how we will be able to do the. See, children's education plan is a part of a financial plan. So the priorities changes. So we are very important. That's a most of the time when we are doing a financial planning, we will be taking care of our retirement, vacations. We will take care of house and car and education. But the top two is always the financial planning is retirement and the child education. The good part of a child education in the future is you can take a loan in your name, or you can take it loan in your kid's name. So I always believe that that is a better option always to make kids more responsible. Of course, I'll tell more details, and in any question and answer I'll be able to help you out. So how you, this is the another thing. So I divide this session. No, I'm not going to do in detail, but I'll do the summary and then I'll take more questions about it. How you make sure that kids are more educated, more than us. I always believe they do what they see. So coincidentally, I think so last week we were having a discussion between me, my daughter, and the son. My daughter is 21 years old, and the son is 10 standard, 15 years old. And he was asking that in our house, we always make a boundaries, and anybody can decide what they want within the boundaries. So one of the boundary is that we will have one meal which can be ordered from outside in a week. Okay, so from wherever you want, whoever wants, and if you're celebrating something, we will that person will choose from where it wants. So this time was a time for our son to choose where he wants to get order from, and he was trying to choose, and then he asked how much money you want. So I said, no, you have to decide what is the limit you should have it. So we normally does it. That is what I have done for my daughter also, and I want all of you to do. If your kids are in teenagers, give 1 or 2 months of full household expenses, whatever you must be knowing what is your expenses, that full money in their hand, and let them decide it how to choose. And that was always a very wonderful exercise I wanted to share with you when I did for my daughter. So first thing is they will aware of what are the rates and where the mother and father are spending. So they are very aware of, for example, how is the fees. They were never knew that what is the milk price. They don't know how much is the fruits and the ordering they are doing. It's been coming. So I asked them to plan it across that how much is for the servants, how much is for the fees, how much you have to take care of the household, how much for fruits, vegetables, your all the bills, mobiles and other things. So I made them to segregate those billing and budgeting. And I told them, okay, we almost spend around 1.5 odd lakhs. So you will be having 1.5 lakhs. Now you have to take care of it. And to my surprise, Suddenly they started saying, okay, the food is coming too costly. If I order from out, we should stop doing this. I have started feeling that awareness themselves has made them how you can save money. So that is like if, for example, he wanted to buy three t-shirts and he says, no, no, I think so money is too much. This month is going, so we will not have this month. So I said, why? When you are spending, you are not taking, and when you asking us that time, you want immediately. He says, no, I don't have a money enough for the next 10 days. So these are the points which I want you all to decide when you have a teenager kid, to make sure that 1 or 2 months, whatever is your average which you have been doing, give them, help them to guideline where they should spend money, how, and how they should save it. And that's a very good question, because they ask how much money you all get. Then I explain them the taxation also, so little bit they understand. And that is the first point. I felt it is the life story recently of my daughter and son. The second thing which I have always keep telling them, and I keep wanted you all to do when the kids are between the 4 and above till 10, how whenever they gets, because I'm sure being an Indian festival times, all the kids gets a lot of money from their grandparents and the parents for the maybe Diwali, Holi, and any other festivals, to buy the good dresses or anything else. So what I make sure that I have asked them to, or that's the one thing I expect. I'm assuming you all have will have the one account in their own name. I used to take them to the bank and used to ask them to fill their own forms. Now it's easy to invest in their money, okay, in the saving banks. And there I will say, okay, I will invest in something else. So that is another things I have been doing this when they were young. I want you to do it. Take them, if they can write it above they are 7 or 8 years old, they can write those like numbers, 5,000 rupees, or they can write in the words, they can write the name of their own account number. You dictate and they write it. It's a very painful exercise first 2 times, but I can tell you the learning is lifelong. Now, after 10 years, if the money comes on Diwali and all, they normally come and tell me, Mama, we will deposit. That's a lifelong. Second thing is what, of course, the technology has been doing very wonderfully good. So now both of them have an app that if they got the money and what they have spent it, even though we don't have a bigger, I can say that monthly pocket money, but they will write where they spend it. And then and the apps are nowadays, you have seen, they have so many features that you are spending more on a clothes or a food, or you're talking on the taxi, and then they analyze and then they're doing. So this is the wonderful thing what I have seen, how we teach kids to save and value of money. So I'll just have a smaller video on how the value of money we should have it.
How do I teach my children
Can you hear now?
value for money?
Yes.
We love our children a lot and we want the best for them. But sometimes we also end up spoiling them by giving in to their demands all the time. I think a starting point for us also is to look at whether some of these demands are unreasonable, and if they are unreasonable, I think we need to tell a no. In that way, they will also in the future learn to hear a no to some of their unreasonable demands. In my book, Honey, I Lost All Our Money, value for money of children has always been a favorite chapter for many of the readers. I think we should look at it a little more innovatively and look for ideas to engage the children and teach them value for money indirectly. Now, one thing that my spouse Rachna does very well is she gives a budget for gifts during their birthdays, or even while we travel, there's a budget to spend. That brings in a whole new perspective, and they start looking at it, looking at the prices and seeing how do they fit it within their budget. Similarly, we can look at maybe giving them the responsibility of, let's say, managing a monthly budget or even a birthday party, so that they learn from it and start being more sensitive to how they use money. I think for us parents, it's a very, very important aspect, and it is really important to teach them, engage children even while you make your investments. Can we start engaging with them at an early date, and they will do very well.
So, children's education process is the very simple one. It depends on how old is your kids. So we will know that. See, most of the time when I do this exercise, people says I don't know what my kid is going to do. Of course, as I told you, mother of two, it's not so easy. Most of the time, sometimes even after finishing the college and do the job, we don't know is it we are doing what we love to do. So it's not so always true. So this is the another question keeps coming to me from my daughter, that I'm doing so much and I'm not sure that I'll be happy in doing this. And then my answer is, even at my age also, I really didn't know that what to do. I have done my academics in MCA. I worked in Wipro and Infosys for 15 years, which was very happy stint for me, and I still cherish. But I came back to the Right Horizon as doing a cross on a financial and wealth management, and I love this work because I meet a lot of different people and I see how I can help them. That's the making this work different. So making a child's education is as per us, so how we can support them financially. Of course, they can choose later on anything. So to choose the things, it is always good to take a middle path, not so big where you feel that it is not easy to do it. But most of the time, we should know my kid is how old it is. So, on an average, we always feel that for a graduation, we require like they may do a professional course, CA, you can do the architecture, doctors, engineering. These are the normal where you will find the in India at least it will cost around 20 to 30 lakhs. Then, how much money you have already saved or yet to save that much, how to make sure that we save on a regular basis and keep periodically at least once in a year or maybe twice in a year that we are on course or not. So in this part, I wanted to give a two cautions. So there is a two things which I always believe it in very strongly. Being I can say my dad was in army, so I have cultivated that habit of discipline. But most of us will always hear the noise and they don't continue. So my belief is the making a wealth is not depends on the money, it depends on your behavior science. It is how long term you are looking, how disciplinary you are taking care, because that's where the long term benefits, the compounding and other things comes across. So I'll just take across the this part of the calculation and let us know. I'll take few example. This you can do yourself with the Excel if you have. I will teach you the things. There's nothing great about it. We will send this Excel. You can play around it to find it out. If not, there are thousands of calculators where you will know to make sure that it is being taken care of, that this is the amount you have to do it for this. Nothing to worry if you feel I'm not able to do that much of money, because if the something is shortfall, you can take a loan. So there is nobody can stop for your kids to achieve what they loves to do it. But how much we can reduce, it's a good things to plan for a longer term. So most of these are the facts I am trying to say. This is the new trend has come. I always believe that people may do an exposure going in a master's abroad, not on a graduation, because the graduation, what we call they called undergrad in abroad, it is costing around 1.5 to 2 crore as on today. It's a very huge part, and especially if we have a two kids, you can't say that I will send only one kid and not send another kid, kind of it. So it's a very difficult for a salaried people sometimes to think about 3 to 4 crores spending on that. But it is very easy to give a good exposure, good things to go on a master's, because masters normally will cost 40 to 50 lakhs, and it's very easy. I have most of my customers kids, my daughter is yet to go for a master, so I can't say my experience, but most of the customer kids are able to manage easily between 15 to 20 lakhs, because they started working part time, they started getting good scholarship. After one semesters they are able to do that. So this is what I wanted you to think about when you are making a education plan for the kids. Think about you what you want for a graduation and the masters, how much money we should take care of that.
Admission in the best college or university for a child is one of the most precious dreams of any parent. It requires two elements for this dream to turn into reality: your child's hard work and good grades, your financial preparedness. What if your child gets the good grades and gets the admission letter from her dream college, and you are financially unable to fund that dream? Really scary situation, isn't it? Creating a corpus for your child's higher education requires you to start investing the day your child is born. According to rough estimates, on an annual basis, the education inflation is about 10%. If the cost of professional studies in your dream college is rupees 10 lakhs today, and your child is just born, then after 18 years, the cost of the same fees would be rupees 55.59 lakhs. Such a huge corpus requires you to invest in a suitable product from the very first day your child is born. If you start early, you can accumulate the corpus easily. If you delay in starting investing, then achieving your goal would be difficult. Call us now to know the suitable.
So I'm just making a little big so you can see it's a very straightforward, I can tell you. It's like what is the cost you are looking for your kids' education when they are finished 12 standard and going for the degree. Okay. So on an average, if you say 4 years of engineering, I'm just trying to take a little higher side. Most of the time it is, I can say 20 to 25 lakhs is the cost as on today. If then I can say what is inflation, very very important part of it, we somehow don't take a part of inflation. I met one of the mother, she was a single mother, and she said, no, I have done one insurance which will give me around 20 lakhs after the my son become 18 years old. So I said that's fair enough. So but you are looking 20 lakhs as on today, and then after 15 years the 20 lakhs may be not full. So sometimes, most of the time, we forget the very big part of our thing is inflation. So that's another thing. What is your child age? That depends on the duration of the amount it is doing. So most of the time, let us say 5. So what will happen if your kid is age of 5 and we required at 18, the 20 lakhs is going to become 54 years. So if I wanted to tell you simple formula here, anybody can use it in a Excel, even if you don't want it to have a calculator. I'm just taking 8%. 8% is inflation. You can change inflation. I normally take as an 8%. Then you have to make sure that how many years 18 minus your current age. So how many years your kid is going to become 15. So here I have taken, if you noticed here, 18 minus 5. And what is the present value, what you are going to have that education. So these are the things which are the 3 parameters where we require to make the future value. Okay. So I am saying if I want an expectation at 10%, so here is a future value is there. If I have today 15 lakhs, of course, I'll be able to manage that part of it. If not, I have done converted into yearly. That yearly, how much money I should invest, that is called PMT. So where 13 years I have it, and how much is the money, future value is this, I'm converting into the yearly with the returns of 10%, and then simply divided by 12. So indirectly, I'm saying if I do 18,500 approximately investments of 13 years, every month I will be able to get a 54.5 or 54.4 lakhs money. So this is very, very important part of it, how you calculate and then go around. You can play around with these numbers and just see how best we can take care. With this, I conclude, and I am assuming all of us as a parents and your, please tell your friends, family, and everybody that all the kids achieve their dreams and become the one of the best what they are good and being happy. So I'm happy to take any questions now.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to request, all the participants, if you are having any questions, please raise your hands. We will allow you to talk, or else you can write the question in Q&A section. I think we have Mr. Anil Singhal who raised the hand.
Yeah. Yeah, Abhilin. Abhijilin, sorry. Yeah. You can unmute and ask.
Hello. Hello, I am audible, ma'am.
Yes, Anup, you are audible.
Ma'am, I have a 5-year-old daughter. I
Okay.
have invested. I have invested money in Sukanya Samriddhi. Is it good for his child education, for her education?
See, Anup, there are most of the time I will tell you as both the side as a parent, as a wealth manager, and everything. Okay. Sukanya Samriddhi is a very good things which takes care of a tax benefit also, and it is used for the people 10 years and below for the daughters given by the government. But you have to realize it if you see now, Sukanya Samriddhi or PF, PPF, they keep changing the returns year on year. So now, if I'm not wrong, it's 7.4% returns, correct? So even if I'm looking a long-term returns, which is 7.4% returns, it is not so good because it is risk-wise, it is good because there is no risk. You are going to get 7.4. But if you talk about for me, I will prefer to take a mutual fund or something because in a long term minimum they will give you 10 to 12% return. That's a one point. Second point in Sukanya Samriddhi is they give it only when the age of 21. You may need the money when the kid is at 8. So I always believe not to put all the investment in one options. You may divide between Sukanya Samriddhi and mutual funds and one of the waiver of income, one insurance. So these are the three things I will normally prefer anybody to do because I have also done the same way. Am I
And
answered your query, Anup?
yeah. Thank you, ma'am. And one more is, when can we opt the insurance for the children? Is it beneficial for the children,
You
or
should take insurance only when they are below 7 or 8 because after that, that growth is not so much. So below 8 only you should take it across. After that, it makes sense to do SIP in their name or a mutual fund from their name.
okay? Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. We have Mr. Venkatesh who raised the hand, so I will allow him to talk.
Yeah, Venkatesh. Please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can. Clear and
Thank you. Thank you for taking my question. Appreciate it. See, my daughter has some specific course in the field of art and music that we are planning to do in Finland the next couple of years. Okay. I have some funds that I gathered
how
with.
old is your daughter, you said?
She's about 19 years old at this particular point of time. And I have some funds that I've gathered through stocks and then mutual funds. Okay, that's good. Again, I want to take some educational loans also. So I want to understand, does your firm have an collective information on which organizations or which banking institutions are good for educational loan, and then how your firm can really help us on choosing the best, and then so on and so forth.
So, being a frank person, we don't have something which is good in a education loan, but we do have a tie-up with a lot of people who will help them to do it. So, one of at least I know of my in group of circle, there are 2, 3 people who have taken care of the music as part of it. They are applying in Berkeley, they are applying in abroad for because they wanted only in the Western music.
Yes.
Even though Indian music, so that's good thing is that when they come to us, we will try to make them as a community so they can speak to one of them, like they have gone to the A.R. Rahman's things. So how costly they are, and because they teach even the Indian music, so she was very particular. She wants only Western, so they didn't go for it. So that's one thing which we try to do. If we don't know in this community, we try to handle it. So we are trying to help her also to find it out how we can get it across for the abroad, because
Yes.
these are very niche universities which you do it.
Yes. Yes.
One thing, and second thing is my daughter also goes to the as a what you call mentoring or a coach,
Oh,
where
great.
that person who is a Dr. John also helped them because he was a part of MIT.
Hmm,
So
hmm,
he
hmm,
helps
hmm.
even because abroad and in the UK, if somebody wants to do a niche art and the music, especially
Okay.
how to
Okay.
go about it. So I'll be happy to at least connect to those people because they have done enough homework for last 2.5 years. Their daughter is in PUC 2 and one is going for it.
Okay.
So they will say like if they wanted to do the keyboard learning or something, how to take care of grade till graded passing, how you can teach the music
Right.
instruments and other things, we'll be happy to do that.
Yeah, that'd be
But
wonderful, ma'am.
personally, we don't have a loans department within us. We are tied up and they do it.
Yeah, I think even if you can help us to connect on the tied up part,
Perfect.
that thing would be helpful. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, please write my number and email. Sanjay will write down. I'll be
Yes.
happy to connect them, and that's a very beautiful, I can say, community will try to help them.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, we have one question in Q&A section. So, Mr. Sunil Ramani asks, what is the approx cost of undergraduate plus masters abroad now? How much total will I require after 10 years? My daughter is 5-year-old now.
Where it is written, can I read it?
In Q&A section, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll do 1 minute. I will show the screen and do the calculation on spot. You're able to see my Excel now? Can you see my
Yes,
Excel?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So the question was, what is the approximation cost of undergrad and the masters? Abroad, and what is required after 10 years if my daughter is just so I can tell you undergrad as on today, if they go abroad, is 1.5 to 2 crore depending on the universities, and masters is actually around 40 to 50 lakhs. So let me take it as a amount of 2 crores. So let me put it that way also. This is the learning for me also, that when I take a 2 crores, the inflation there is very, very less. It is around 2 to maximum 3%, even though as on today in US is the inflation is very high on the last 40 years. But on an abroad, a developed country is 2% which we take. But I wanted to tell you the third risk comes there whenever we are sending abroad. I have done the lot many last 15 years. I'm in a Right Horizon and a Wealth. What happens when we were doing abroad? We didn't take the currency deviation. The currency risk is very, very high. When we started, it was $54 and now it at 82. So most of the time I continued the inflation sometime at 8% because that takes care of the 2% inflation and the currency inflation also. Okay. So 5 years is done. So it will require 2 crore is going to become 5 crore, and you have 13 years. So approximately you required 1.9 lakhs, or let me take this as a 12. So at least 1.6%, 1.6 lakhs per month is required, assuming nothing has been saved now. If you have something in a saved in a part of it, we will be able to reduce it. Yes, this is for Ivy League. I'm talking about Ivy League only. Am I answered your question, Sunil?
Thank you, ma'am. We have one more question, but asker's name is not appearing. I would like to request askers to try to talk. We will allow him to talk. The question is, how is the fee for IVY?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ivy League, all of them are the same what I'm talking about. It is 40 lakhs to 50 lakhs for the masters and 1.5 to 2 crores in a undergrad they call. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. I think when we were explaining this, Mr. Wasim raised his hand. Mr. Wasim, if you are there, please raise your hand. We will allow you to talk.
Yes, Wasim, how I can help you?
You able to hear me?
Yes, I can clearly hear you. Tell me.
Like when the student go on undergrad, so can they work as a part time or they don't? They can't.
Depending on the, see, very few university allow as a part-time allowed, but legally it is allowed in a master's. Few only allowed part-time in the things. And what I have heard of the undergrad, the projects and others are so much they are not able to take it up. Okay, but yes, most of the time, undergrad I have not heard people doing a lot of part-time. On a master's, they are allowed 20 hours legally.
Okay. Okay. That's what's. Thank you.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just ask
you
Venkatesh had
still have
another
any query
questions
to ask?
or
Yeah, actually, I'm just asking him.
Yeah, so I had another question. Yeah, thanks for taking this question. So
Yeah.
considering that my daughter again will be taking the course in the next 12 months or something like that, what are the kind of short-term oriented funds that you can suggest or investments that you can suggest to take care of her, let's say second year study or a third year study or something like that? I'm okay to take some risks. Yeah.
yeah, so what happens most of the time when we are doing an investment, we always ask when you wanted to redeem. So I'll give you somebody example. One of my friends' daughter is writing a NEET, and she was in 11th standard.
Mhm.
And then they said, okay, I will take a break because ranking didn't come so well. So she wanted to write a second time. And then it realized that, okay, she may wanted to go abroad and do the medical. Okay. And I'm telling this is the live story itself. And when they wanted the sessions, normally abroad started in the January or August. That's a session fall and the season.
Right.
So she's doing for that, and she said, Rachna, how I can do it for the 3 to 6 months or 9 months. So I always believe that anything below 1 year, other
Yeah.
than the debt fund, I never wanted to recommend anybody. I know people are okay to take risk, but we can't say that market is down or something. I cannot pay the fees. It's a very, very difficult that time. And as a wealth advisor, we don't want it to go into the negative because it has a exit load also, all of those. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
I normally says that anytime put it in an ultra short fund, put it in liquid funds, put it whatever way that doesn't have an exit load, better than your SB and better than FDs. Okay.
True, madam.
Because the reason is FD is not flexible. They you take it for 3 months, and if you take it out after 2 months, 30 days or 29 days, you will get cut your
Yes.
interest. And interest below 6 months is very, very low. It is around 3.5, 4.5 like this.
Yes.
So ultra short-term funds, debt funds are a good. Below 1 year, I always want all of you to park there because it is not linked to the market. More than anything in India, we are expecting a multi-bull run to have a very good equity, but next 1 year is going to be very volatile also because US is as on today's high pressure, and we assume that they are going to have a bear phase. So
Okay.
whenever said and done, when the US has done it, at least some cascading effect comes in India and other also markets. Okay, it
Right.
will take some time. So they may take times around 5 years. We may take 2 years to come up because of our demographic. But yes, it is very thing. So I will not recommend you to park anywhere if you want below 1 year.
Okay, not even index funds, madam?
Not even an index will also go down.
Okay, yeah, fine. Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate
By
it.
nature, I am very, very conservative also. And right horizons also, we try to say how to do risk adjusted returns. So I will not recommend, but if you feel that you have a portfolio which you have made for even for retirement or something else,
Right.
in case if it is required, you can move it from their money. You can do that also.
Okay.
So there is always a set. We say, okay, this money I have. I'm just giving example. Somebody told me yesterday I had a call with a friend and customers of me from US. He has an only son and he wanted to do undergrad. So some of the best part of IT is we are able to take a transfer to abroad. So he said, Rachna, I cannot do the undergrad in my Indian salary. So he was in Wipro, or he's still in the Wipro, but he's in Wipro US now. So he got a transfer to Wipro. And some when you are in earning in the dollars, it's easier to make sure. Then he told me the same thing that now I'm able to manage the whatever taking care of the kids' education in US. So I'll be able to take care of the retirement now. So
Okay.
whatever was because he has planned for his kids' education from here only by selling of the site. And you will not believe it, for 2.5 years he tried and he was not able, because 2012 to 2018 was very tough to sell real estate.
True,
So
true, true.
that's another thing I wanted to tell people. It is good to invest some time, but if it is a fixed assets and it is linked to the kids' education, try to liquidate at least 2 years before.
Right,
Okay.
right.
And that's what we do it most of the time when we are investing in equity for a longer term. 2 years back, we start moving to the hybrid and hybrid to the debt, so it doesn't have an impact over it. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope I
Okay.
answered your query.
Yes, ma'am.
Ritesh.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, we have one question in Q&A section. So, is it better to do undergrad in India and go abroad for masters only? What are the pros and cons of doing undergrad in India?
Okay. This is such a wonderful question, because as a mother, I'm having the same thing I'm applying. My belief is we should do undergrad in India. Okay. The standard of our education system is much, much higher. There is nothing can beat across. And it's very difficult. Most of us are a salaried people. Okay. It's very difficult for paying a 1.5 to, if they have two kids, around 3 crores for the, I can say, growing into abroad. The reason for it, I feel, because I am being nowadays in other side also. When I take any of the CV, because some of the country they don't have a job and they come back after that. When I am telling a CV and I see them, they have done the masters or the undergrad abroad, and I'm paying the very marginal salary higher, I feel more sad more than them, because that is the state as of today. So we always try to see that as a parent. It is, if you have money, there is nothing like that. Because it's another story I wanted to tell you of my friend. My daughter and his daughter was the same classmate. So they have only daughter and we have two kids. So she has gone abroad for the graduate undergrad, and they spent around 1.8 crore. And then I asked, what happened? Why you did that? You can save that much money. So he's saying, first of all, Rachna, it's not because I have only daughter, because I felt it. If I can afford it, why don't I do that? Because in India, the quality is too good, but the competition is also very high. Everybody cannot get 95 and above. That's also very true. So if I wanted to give the education quality of 95 and above kind of colleges, which is very good colleges, but I can't expect her to be always so good. So why don't I do? Because I am able to take care of expenses of her. So that is another way also, I believe. If you are able to manage, there is nothing like that, because the skill, the exposure is much, much higher. As of today in India, we are still talking about quite a lot on, not on the skill. We are talking about academics very high. We still talk. We keep having a lot of interns in our I2 Horizons, and I was just talking to them and I asked them the same thing. I expect two things from the interns. When you are here, either you should get a reference from us or you should get the offer. If you have not got either of it, it means that you just came for time pass and went off. So that's the one thing I always tell people as on today, because nobody is going to see their marks after the first job or they get the admission. So I have been a one person who keep trying to tell the people that if you are able to take care of expense, undergraduation is a very good thing. Like my daughter keeps saying my son is very finicky about the food, and she keeps saying, Mama, he has to go out, stay in the PG or a hostel to learn what is the importance of home food. And that's another things I keep saying the same thing. The personal, when they go out, they will learn quite a lot of, I can say one thing. So this is another person of our friend. Their daughter has gone 3 months back in a UK, and when they started seeing the expense going so much and all this stuff, she says, no, now I started cooking myself because I felt it is too costly. So that is a lifelong learning for a skill. So I still conclude with that. As a person, I prefer undergrad in India and masters in abroad, because it's easier in a financial way also, and exposure also they get. But if you are able to manage undergrad expenses, it's good for the kids also. Yes. Can you have a Ram Kumar?
Yeah,
Yes, Ram Kumar, good morning. Can you hear us? Can you make them unmute?
he has also written down the question in Q&A section. This question is
Okay.
that I mean for the children education, which is the equity mutual fund for better it's large cap or mid cap or small cap for 10 years more for investment holding.
Okay. So depends on how old is your kids. Okay. How old is your kids depends on you can take mid, small, and large. Depending on the cycles. So what I have been doing for last 21 years, let me tell you. The time our daughter and son has been born, the next month itself, I have made them the what you call bank account, and that I am been doing an SIP for them. I'm a big fan of HDFC Child Gift Fund, but there are SBI is also there, Nippon is also there. So there are only three funds where they have a child gift fund. Child gift funds are being positive and negative. I wanted to tell both. One is most of the time when you are a business owner and suddenly something is not doing good, what we do it is we remove the money from our personal investments or a bank, and then we fund it our company. So that is the one thing which was very, very irritating with me sometimes in the first few years. I'll tell because I was in a salary in Infi and Wipro. So you work 18 hours, but you will get at least the salary. And here you will say, okay, things are not doing good. We will put anyway, it's our company. So I was very clear for kids' money, I don't want it to redeem in any cost. So the best fund was that because these are lock-in funds. So it's like how you have an insurance, you can't redeem it. Similarly, these child gift funds, they you cannot redeem it. Good thing is you can't redeem it because I don't want them to redeem because this money is given to you or I have made that investment in the kid's name. Second thing is I have made sure that it is locked in till their 18 years. So it in my mind was very, very clear. I can tell you on our 15th anniversary was the first time when me and Anil has gone alone abroad. And when in the air, in the flight, I just told if we both die, what will happen? And he says, why suddenly you are asking this question? And you won't believe the peace of mind was very clear with me that both of them has that much enough money that higher education is taken care of because our relatives will take care of the day to day, but higher education 20-30 lakhs they cannot put it across. So similarly, that SIP I have been doing in a child gift fund, but the reverse part of it, recently somebody came and asked me, Rashna, I don't want a child gift fund because the negative part is when they are 18, because they are become a major, you have to do the KYC for them, and the money goes in the kids' account, not in the parents' account. So that is the another part. Some people are not comfortable. They said at that age, if they are not in a good circle or a friend, or they don't pay the money, how I will do it? And I said, at least for their fees, they should be able to pay. But they said, Rashna, you don't know because you need a signature from them. So I don't need it. So these funds have also have got it into a different mode. They are 4 in lock-in, 8 year lock-in, or till 18. So you can choose those funds, whichever lock-in you want. Second thing is half of them I have put it in the large cap. I have not put for them a mid and small cap. The reason, even though they had a very long term, 18 years as you can think of, because I don't want them to take a little higher risk. So I have done it for them child gift fund. I have done it for them what you call large cap and a multi cap, and I have taken a 1/1 insurance from them, which is a ULIP based, which is a waiver of income. So these three things I have done for our kids. I think so. I have answered. If you have any other questions, I'll be happy to do that. Ram, do you have any questions apart from this?
No, he said that I'm cleared now.
Yeah.
So I think Mr. Sunil also asked 1 or 2 questions. Is undergrad master cheaper in Canada compared to USA, or it is cheaper in Dubai or Singapore? It is.
So more than a cheaper, I think so the best part is the kids are very educated now, and kids are very, very, I can say, smarter than us. Okay. So the best part is we don't see it is a cheaper or not cheaper. It depends on which university is giving them a better on a different line. So like I can say, Canada is very easy. Why? Because getting a university and getting the visa is very easy. US visa sometimes is not so easy. Second thing is, I always believe that what kind of role. So I have a few friends and customers' kids have gone to Europe side quite high, because if they are in a, I can say, automobile side, if they are in the lawyer or they are taking care of sports management, in Europe side universities are very, very good. So that's another level. If you are in a financial side, including our daughter, trying to do it in Singapore and Hong Kong, because Singapore, Hong Kong, Switzerland, and the US is the only university which gave the master only in the wealth management. They don't have a master. Otherwise, all university have master in finance. They don't have master in wealth management. So there are very specific some universities give across, and then we should go back. Another things which you see nowadays, there are two things any parents look at across. One is the getting an admission, and second is the costing. So admission wise, even Australia is, so now the two hot cities I can say, or countries which are people have been going the most, is Australia and the Canada, because they are opening the gates for an education, because other places are very, very tough. These two places are Canada is and US is almost the same. Australia is the one of the costliest side. Then it comes to Europe, and then it comes to Canada and US. That's the costliest wise, it goes that way. But I will believe either you or I'm sure kids awareness is much, much bigger. Don't go first with the cost. Look for what they're looking, and a specific course is there in which universities. Then drive down. Good thing is you will be able to see that they can go for a sponsorship, what to get, how to get sponsorship. If things works well, you can ask for the loan, and that's the way we should go about it. Yeah. Any other questions? I can take it, Sanjay.
No, ma'am. I think we've done with the question.
Okay. So with that, I wind it up with my session where we can make sure that all our kids do what they love to do, as this we have seen in Three Idiots, because if they are happy, attend, that's what it matters. So make sure that we as a parent help them what they like. They make sure that they get it as a financially, we will be able to help them over the period. And if things doesn't work, we can have a take a loan, we can help them to get the sponsorship, we can try to do even the coaching. Okay. Most of our kids are not sure what they want, so sometime even 1 year coaching before going for which type of course, which university and which country, that also we can give it to them, which is costing maybe around 60 to 80,000 in a year, because it's a lifelong saving I can think of. With this, I surrender myself and have a thanks for everybody to join and ask a lot of questions. I hope it is helping you and your kids to achieve dream life and have a tons of happiness. Thank you.